boys and girls. This week we're going to be learning about poetry and figurative language. So you want to ask yourself, well, what is poetry? I'm sure lots of you have already read different poems and you probably have some idea of what poetry actually is. But let me tell you a little bit about its purpose. So sometimes people write poetry to entertain, to describe, or to inform. Poetry can be short or long. Poetry does not always have to rhyme, and it has many different types. It can be written about any topic, and it also expresses different feelings. People who write poems are called poets. Here are some of the different elements of poetry. In a poem, you will find lines. This means it's a group of words arranged in a row. In poetry, you will also hear the word stanza. This is a group of lines within a poem. Poems often have rhythm and rhyme. This means that there's a pattern of stressed syllables or rhyming words. And in poetry, you will often find repetition. These are lines or words that are repeated in a poem, usually to show importance. When reading about poetry, readers think about these things. Who is the speaker or the narrator? What does the speaker want, think, or feel? If the poem rhymes, what is the pattern? And some of the patterns you can find in poetry are AABB or ABAB, and those are different types of poem rhymes. If there are characters, what do they want, think, or feel? Is there a problem and a resolution? How does the setting affect the speaker or the character? How is the poet creating a picture in your mind? Hint, hint, they use figurative language, and we're going to learn more about figurative language on the next slide. So, what is figurative language? Well, it's words or expressions that mean something different from their literal meaning. They can be used for comparisons or dramatic effect, and there are some different types. Some types of figurative language are similes, metaphors, personification, hyperbole, onomatopoeia, and idioms. A simile is a comparison of two unlike things using like or as. An example of this is, she was as busy as a bee. A metaphor is a comparison of two unlike things that does not use like or as. An example of this is, the new baby is a bundle of joy. Personification is given human qualities to non-human things. An example of this is, the stars danced in the night. Hyperbole is an extreme exaggeration. An example of this is, ugh, I have a million things to do. Alliteration is the repetition of the same initial consonant sound. An example of this is, Sally sells seashells down by the seashore. An idiom is a phrase that means something different than what it says. An example of this is, it's raining cats and dogs out there. Onomatopoeia are sound words. Some examples of these are whoosh, buzz, and